Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Static Shift. I'm Frost, joined tonight by our amazing Swiller. Welcome in, Swiller. Good to see you. How you been?
Good to see you too, Frost. Well, hello, everybody. Long time no see.
Looking at the map right now. We got the radio and the map hooked up on the screen. Weird thing. We got the E6 traveling over north of me in Wyoming here. They don't usually take that course too often east of the storm. We also have a tanker to the, what do we got? Nebraska right there. Some C-30s. Swiller, you had a cool spot earlier. What was going
Oh,
on with those
yeah.
guys?
So over in South Korea earlier tonight, it's back up right now. There's an F-15 that is patrolling a couple hundred miles south of the DMZ. There is also currently a drone up over South Korea, right in the center of South Korea, probably a couple hundred miles or maybe about 100 miles from the DMZ. And then out in the Yellow Sea, which is the area of water that separates China from the Korean Peninsula, we have a what replaced the Joint Stars aircraft. So it takes radar pictures of the ground a couple hundred miles inland, and it's been patrolling up and down the eastern coast of China to just north of Taiwan. And then it turns around, heads back north again, and it's on another loop right now. Very hard to catch it. You can only catch it at the top and the bottom of the loop itself. So right now on my screen, which I could pop up. Never mind. I'm going to cancel that. I know we're in a little different format tonight than normal. We're in a vertical format, so I don't want to share my screen and
Oh yeah, I'm
mess
not
up
even
that.
sure if it would work at this point.
Yeah.
Things are set up a little
Yeah.
bit different tonight. If you're out there, and we're gonna do a roll call here in just a second. If you're out there, we are, of course, streaming in a vertical format. YouTube keeps on suggesting, like, hey, try vertical. You'll like it. So we're trying vertical tonight. Give us that feedback. Do you like this vertical mode? Are you using it on your phone right now? If you're on desktop, how does that look? I'm not sure. Yeah, give us the feedback. We're totally open to it. And let's see who's in here. Of course, we got myself, Frost, Swiller, Jeff B, Modern Beauty, Dave, Blake, Steven, Steffi, Jose's in here. Who we got? Claire. Dawn's in here. Jeanette, welcome. Hello. Jasmine Trades. Amy, hey, while we're doing Amy, Kelly. Let's see here. Swiller, Amy has a question. How do you tell if it's a drone on ADSB or flight radar? I believe is the question.
So in the case of ADSB, it'll show up in the shape of a Reaper or Predator drone, kind of that common silhouette of one. Flight Radar 24 will show the actual shape of a quadcopter, depending on what type of drone it is. It's interesting how each site has decided to take its own level of detail on its icons to different levels. Where ADSB is really detailed on airplanes themselves, the Flight Radar is detailed on the drones, more so than the aircraft themselves. Because everything looks like that standard shape. It doesn't matter if it's an F-15 or a T-38 or whatever. It looks like that standard little fighter aircraft shape that they have on Flight Radar. But like on ADSB, it'll show the different shapes of like an F-15 or an F-16 or an F-18 or an F-15. You can tell just by looking at the icon.
Thank you so much. Any other quick tips? I know you told me the other night the ADSB map changes, I believe, right?
Yeah, ADSB changed the map. They got rid of a bunch of layers, and now you either have the OpenStreetMap or the ADSB custom preview. They recently did a change to the custom preview where some of the countries in Europe are spelt in their European way. So in Central Europe, like Poland, for instance, comes up as Polska. Germany comes up as Deutschland. So I wish they would change it back to their English spellings, like they have for like Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan and China. Um, but beggars can't be choosers. I'll take the new layers. It's easier to navigate around the map, and now the Open AIP TMS interface works. So if you click that button and you zoom in, you can see the name of the airport, the length of the runway, and the frequency to listen on, which will help out if you guys like to go to live ATC or Broadcastify or anything like that.
Here's a weird, not weird, but here's an interesting spot. I got two tankers just south of Okinawa, um, literally really close to each other. I'm not sure who they're traveling with there.
That's interesting. So I'm on ADSB on my side. I like to use ADSB a little bit
Mhm.
easier. Interesting. My phone just powered off randomly. Okay, it was at a pretty full charge.
They're on to
Oh,
us.
no, it's Discord doing Discordy things on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Oh well.
Discord's taken over. It's assimilated.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll fix that in just a moment. But at any rate, where were we at? Oh, the tankers. Yeah, I'm on ADSB and I see nothing around Okinawa besides a KC 130 or sorry, a C 130 with call sign Convoy 7848. I've got a.
This is directly south of the P8, east of Taiwan, kind of south of Okinawa, east of Taiwan.
Yeah, see, I've got none of that, but I've got a. Uh, huh. Well, it's Army VIP transport. I just haven't seen that plane before. And then we got another couple Army VIP transports that are moving up from southern Japan. But I'm surprised I don't have the tankers on ADSB with all the other stuff that's up there right now.
Yeah. So, Swiller, right now I do have a poll question up. Do you like the vertical mode? Oh my gosh. I put mode in there twice as I was typing. I should not be multitasking. Do you like the vertical mode stream? So far, we've got 8 votes. 25% say yes, 62% say no, 12% say I don't care. Thank you for voting. Let us know. Like I said, every time I log into YouTube as a creator, it's like, hey, try vertical mode. It's the best thing ever. So we're trying it, YouTube.
Yeah, push us, YouTube.
Yeah,
You scratch our back, we'll scratch yours.
for sure. Amy says, is the air traffic different than normal in the area?
The seeing the fighter jet and the drone up over South Korea is pretty uncharacteristic. Seeing the other plane that I mentioned over that's running the radar up and down the Chinese coast, I'm sure we do that a lot more than we see on the transponder.
Okay.
Typically, we have RC-135s that do that, but they're listening for electronics emissions, whereas this is shooting radar beams and taking pictures with radar, using 3D synthetic aperture radar to map out. I mean, even down to vehicles on the ground. It's crazy what the plane can do. The Artemis.
I tried taking off the radio on the bottom so you guys could see chat better on the vertical mode. Let me know if that makes anything better or worse for you. Jeanette said, I can't see the chat on the phone, so I hate it, LOL. Definitely giving something a try again tonight. We tried this, I don't know, probably about 6 months ago. Like I said, YouTube's like, try it. You'll love it. It's the way of the future. I'm not sold on it, but hey, I'm open to trying new things though too.
Yeah, vertical mode on the computer obviously gives you the smaller screen, but chat interface is the same way. So if you're watching it on a computer, maybe you don't like the size of the video, get you there. But if you're on the phone, with the way that YouTube does their chat, it can be a little hit or miss sometime. So definitely give us the feedback, and Frost, he'll work and toil away at it and bring you guys a damn good product at the end of the day.
Speaking of damn good products, um, there is on our 24/7 stream. I can't really show you right now because I took it down so we could go live. There's some updates on the channel. So as of 11:50, I'm sorry, 23:59 Zulu. So at midnight Zulu time, pretty much, the count will automatically go to 0, and it will save that day in the log. Hopefully forever if everything's working correctly. And now on the top, it shows, instead of the call sign at the top, it shows the previous day's count like it used to. That was requested a few times in chat. So if you requested it, there you go. And then also, there's a new scene that rotates through that shows you the previous days. Now we're going to take these days, EAM counts per day, and we're going to kind of make a graph. And when we go live, we'll talk about the call signs we heard recently. We'll talk about the EAM historical trend. We'll see, does that correlate? Does that mean anything? Is it just random? We're going to take a look at all the information and data. And thank you. If you are one of the people that listen to the EAMs and help count, big shout out and big thank you to you.
Hey, Frost, Jazz of Many Trades in the chat being super helpful to the community right now. He's letting people know you can look for 3 vertical dots in the upper right to open a pop-up menu. In that pop-up menu, you can toggle the chat.
Okay.
That seems to have helped a couple folks out in the chat. So, perfecto.
Perfect.
Jeff B., great to see you.
And give me
and by the way, Jeff B.,
Go ahead.
great conversation the other night that you had when you were up here with Frost. Outstanding, riveting conversation.
Yeah, I'm going to move the map around while we're talking a bit just to make chat a little bit more visible for the people that do want to see it.
Yeah.
So your eyes aren't deceiving you. I am currently moving the map around. There we go. And yeah, Jeff B., as Swiller said, that was an amazing conversation. And if you want to, PM me on Discord. I believe we have each other on there. I would love to have another conversation just with you again. That was fantastic. And I'd like to maybe periodically have you up if that's something you're into or would like to do. Okay, so moving into some of the news this week and some of the things that I'm tracking. So the big people that have lots of money invested and shareholder money invested in AI for the last few months have been like, hey, some crazy stuff's coming out soon with AI, and we're not sure if people are going to be able to handle this, right? So starting about 3 or 4 days ago, people have been posting Sora AI videos. I'll try to find one here in the background and I'll share it. They're just, and people right now, from what I'm seeing on like TikTok and stuff like that, YouTube Shorts, are using them for very funny videos. So that's what I've seen so far. Luckily, I haven't seen many political videos. I've seen some people use the likeness of others, which I don't think you're supposed to with AI without their permission, but it's happening. The scary part of this is, and let me know what you think of this, Swiller, and everyone here, all the Recon crew members in chat, let me know what you think. These videos, if you didn't know better, you would have no clue that these were AI. And I'm not talking about if you didn't know better as in like the visuals. The visuals are dang near perfect. I say this as someone that's done production and live video production and watched people make stuff in 3D and real-time green screens and stuff. I say this as if you didn't know better, if you weren't using like your common sense and your brain, they're pretty wild. Swiller, I think I sent you a few today. Let me see if I can just pull one up here.
Yeah, bro. If I didn't know Kennedy's current disposition, like if I didn't know what happened back in 60 whatever that was, I I think the man was still alive, bro. Like,
Okay, so the one I
dude.
sent Swiller it was Kennedy. He was DJing a party, and I was like, this looks really good. I also saw one. It was Bob Ross playing a video game and like talking about like the happy little whatever in the video game, and then oh my gosh. So I'll try to find some here, and we'll just play them. And you got some stuff while I'm pulling this up. You got some stuff to talk about concerning Area 51. If you want to give that a little teaser there,
Oh
Swiller.
yeah, man. Over on the TT platform a few months ago, I was turned on to a page that showed a guy who was camping out um, in the California and Nevada deserts, going on little expeditions. And he would get as close as he could to various classified facilities, and we'd go check things out and whatnot. Um, he posted a recent video that I can't wait to talk about here in a little bit, where he goes and checks out the classified facility out in Hellendale, California. Lockheed Martin has a facility there, and the footage that he was able to gather on a overnight camping expedition, and just before he left that next morning, was just if you are an aviation geek like I am, absolutely breathtaking footage. If you are an enthusiast of UAPs, little green men, aliens, whatever you want to call them, the extraterrestrial kind, not the other kind that we're having other problems with, which is, by the way, impromptu, something else I want to talk about in a moment, Frost.
Yeah.
But this guy's got some incredible videos, and we're going to talk about them a little bit deeper here in just a little bit.
Okay, so on the screen, I'm not sure if you can see this, Swiller, but I'm just gonna pull up a few of these Sora AI. Right
Hey,
now,
fuck!
one of the best ways to tell right now, if you don't obviously know, like these people have passed, they're no longer with us, supposedly. Um, it'll say a default Sora AI video when people are generating them. It'll have a little watermark that pops around the screen, like on the top left hand corner, then the center, then the right. So we have Amy Winehouse and Tupac. Again, both who have passed. Um, that looks incredible. Let's see here. We got. Oh my gosh. I mean, when AI video came out, it would mess up and like they would have too many fingers and the photos didn't look
Is that
great.
Elvis and Freddie Mercury?
It sure is. Um, I mean, here we have. Wow, I need to make the
That's Stephen
Stephen Hawking
in a NASCAR
racing.
race. Let's go.
Maybe it's a good thing that one was cut off. Let's see here.
Yeah, the other one you showed me a Hawking earlier on the vert ramp, bro. That was brutal.
We have Michael Jackson stealing some chicken, but I've examined these videos.
Well, that's just
They are
racist right there.
pretty spot on. Like the text isn't weird. Tell me what you think. I know these are kind of like over the top, but here's what's coming next. What happens when you see a video on the screen of a politician saying something they shouldn't be? Or on the other hand of that, a public announcement like, "Hey, attention, nation, something is happening." And then that, like maybe that got hacked, and now it's an AI saying that. Or on the other hand, like everyone's just gonna be like, "Oh, that wasn't me," even if it really happened. That was AI. It's just gonna be like, "That's the new." Yeah, that wasn't me.
Fake EAS messages coming out.
Oh my gosh, that's already scary enough.
For real. That gets my heart racing every time I hear that stupid tone.
Here we have Kennedy in WWE not loading here. And that looks really good. Anyways, we'll go back to Flight Radar. Tell me what you think of all the AI videos and actually AI in general. Have we gone too far? I'm a huge proponent of technology, but lately I'm like, have we gone too far? Is this
Effing scary, bro.
is this good for us? I mean, you can see how we handled social media not well. Not well at all. Let me catch up on chat here. Okay. Sorry, I was scrolling. I scrolled way too far. Jeff B going back in chat says, Frost, you have to read Trump's EO during his first admin where he signed an executive order authorizing DOW and Spec Ops in using AI and deepfakes as part of the ongoing operation. As far as like military ops, it's been long kind of forecasted that they would take recon planes into other countries and broadcast signals as if they were, say, Saddam Hussein in Iraq or something like that, announcing, say, hey, troops, this is your president speaking, put down your weapons, blah, 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 blah. How effective would that be, right? I mean, decently effective if done right. Thank you so much, Jeff B. Don, search Area 51 for illegal aliens. That would have been a good duet. Jazz of Many Trades says those videos were easier to see as fake than others have seen. Even those who of us who spend time training ourselves to tell the difference are struggling on some of what we have seen online. I mean, today and yesterday with these Sora videos, you can't tell the difference. I only knew because some of those people that were showing like are not with us anymore. Crazy stuff. Swiller, what's going on in Area 51?
Lots going on in Area 51. Lots of testing as of recently. We have caught several tankers that have been working the edge of the Nevada test range, right there where Groom Lake is, where they do the testing. Right there where Frost is showing is the Hellendale facility that I mentioned earlier. That is a RCS pole. I believe at this point of the video, on top of the RCS pole was a general shape. Sometimes they'll put a triangle or some sort of shape up there that has a different radar coding or anti-radar coding.
So tell us what this pole is for people that don't know.
If you can see just to the right of the pole, there's a little kind of bump on the concrete there. That's a radar installation, a radar station. And that thing is pointed directly at the pole. They will put either shapes that have different RAM coatings on it that are made of different materials. And when I say shape, I mean they'll put a blank. So like a triangle blank of something that has, coating on it, right? Mm-hmm. Or they'll put a shape of an aircraft itself up there, like a fuselage of an actual aircraft that they're trying to test. So in this video, he catches both of those things. He catches what appears to be just a shape That
So they're
they're
bouncing. So they're using this to test different radar
yeah
equipment. Not the radar equipment, but what's going to reflect off of that. So if we're going to put this on a stealth bomber or fighter or whatever, we're going to test it right here first, right?
correct.
Okay.
RCS stands for radar cross section.
Okay.
It is the size of the image on the radar screen of the object that they're looking at. So, for instance, um, a 747 on a radar screen shows up about the size of a dime per se, right? Um, in comparison to what a 747 shows up as, an F-22 Raptor shows up as a mosquito. It's virtually impossible to see a Raptor because its radar cross section is so small. And even if you turn up the radar to try to see it, there's so much other noise in the air. So right there is the shape of an object. What I believe to be a sixth gen style aircraft that is being transported upside down. And they usually mount these things upside down on the radar cross section pole, from what I've been able to see and read online. But they can manipulate it while it's on that pole. They can pitch it, they can yaw it, and they can rotate it 360 degrees around.
So right now, this video is coming from a YouTube content creator. His channel name is Uncanny Expeditions, and he's been finding some stuff, crazy stuff lately. And Swiller, the last video you sent me about a month ago, he was taking some pictures and video from real far out, excuse me, of a place you could actually still see really good into Area 51. And then the last thing we knew, there was one of those Humvees or Jeeps waiting for him on the bike trail exit. Do you know what happened with that?
He went on by, they went on by, there was no interaction, or if there was an interaction, he totally did not allude to one or speak about it. The video that we're watching here, he also had an interaction with security. At some point, they figured out that he was up there and sent a truck out to go cruise by him. At one point, got about 30 feet from him while he was on the trail on his way back to his vehicle. And then once he was at his vehicle, they rolled by him. Desert tortoise, that's cool. They rolled by him. He set it about 7 or 8 feet, just kind of staring at him, seeing what he was doing, and then moved down the road, kind of parallel to the direction that he was traveling for a while before the security broke off. He is very good at using his resources to make sure that he stays on public land. He's
Mhm.
not trying to do anything illegal.
You better have your GPS tracker on to the like a few feet and know where you're at.
Yeah.
But look
And
at this.
he
He's
even
getting
says,
real close video of this thing.
yeah. See, that's the one that looks like the shape.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably a blank triangle of some sort of composite material with a RAM coating put on top of that, RAM standing for radar absorbent material, and bouncing radar waves off of that to see what it looks like on the radar, changing the frequencies on the radar as well, because the Chinese radar systems work on a different frequency than the Russian radar systems work, on a different frequency than our radar systems work.
Mm-hmm.
So they shoot different frequencies of radar at it as well, just to see what it looks like at different frequencies and different sizes and whatnot. And that's the one that was more like the full size fuselage. Unknown if that is a tailless aircraft, or if that is maybe the front half of an aircraft that they just want to test to see what it looks like from a certain angle, without having a tail section on it. So maybe they can reduce the radar cross section as much on that particular component as possible before they throw the back half of whatever aircraft. From the distance that he's at, too hard to say for me. And same for him too. He mentions in his video that from his distance out, I think the Area 51 video that you mentioned, he was about 20 miles out.
Yeah. He must have a great lens and video system going on.
Yeah, he's got some top of the line stuff for night vision and top of the line stuff for some spotting stuff.
I can't believe they let him keep the footage or hasn't got a knock on the door. Maybe he has, and this is like, hey, I'm not up to anything nefarious. I'm just doing this for fun.
Well, I'll tell you, Frost, I'd sure as hell like to see you reach out to this guy. I know that he's near 100,000 subscribers on his page. We're merely about 10% of what he is at. But I really, really hope you'll be willing to reach out to this guy
I
and
totally will. I don't have
either
any
you
high
interview him or
expectations. However, I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. I will send him a message, and I would love to know more. This is fantastic. I mean, of course, we have an awesome turtle here. Um, Fantastic stuff. Uncanny expeditions. After this live show, I definitely suggest you go over there and check them out and subscribe if you like that kind of content. I think this is incredible. Anything having to do with Area 51, secret aircraft, UFOs, radar cross sections, this is just awesome.
yeah.
So big shout out
this
to
is
Uncanny Expeditions.
this is right up my alley personally. Between this and tracking the flights and whatnot, and this is what I love to do is I like to track the flights that happen near these other facilities like Palmdale. The only reason right now that I wish that we were in the other mode is so I can share my screen and show what I found down there in Palmdale. Inside of a hangar, I was able to get the map to lay down in Google and look into an open hangar from a very interesting perspective. And I saw a couple of what looks to be 5th-gen fighters. Potentially X-47s or F-47s. I'm not sure if they are just the carrier drone that they've been testing, the X-47, or if these were possibly production models of an F-47. They are on Boeing's side of the facility, not on Lockheed Martin's side of the facility. So an F-47 would make perfect sense. And it sounds like the Navy coming up in the future, not that long from now, is about to hear that Boeing is more than likely going to be the manufacturer of the FAXX project, where they're going to take an F-47 and modify it for carrier duty. There's still an outside chance that Grumman gets the contract, which I hope they do. They've been snubbed over the past couple of years. But for those that don't know, the F-35 project, Grumman makes a majority of the products for that, the fuselage and some of the other molded products. So even though Grumman didn't win the fight necessarily in that stealth thing, they still ended up getting a subcontract to produce parts for it, which I think is cool that the defense contractors at least have their crap together enough to work together, more so than our government does sometimes.
Swiller, so what I think we should do is make a video and put out, or even do it live, of that angle that you caught from the Google Maps stuff.
You know what?
I think that's really awesome.
Dude, I'm going to do a little test right now. You know what
What's
I'm going to do? I'm going to see if I can manipulate the Video Ninja here to like what I'm about to do. So bear with me a moment. I can always undo it. Let's see what happens.
We'll do it live.
Might as well.
Hey, you don't have to turn off your screen. Okay.
Did it work?
I see ADSB right now. It's not on the live stream, but I can force it. I have the magic to do that.
Okay. That being the case, I'm going to turn myself back. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to turn myself back on. And then I'm going to get in position, so to speak, on my side.
Okay.
And because, dude, I was really tripped out. Now, while I'm pulling this up, dude, I wanted to throw some props your way. I think that you did a fantastic job the other day covering what was happening in Chicago with the NOTAM, with the drone threat going on. And I noticed there was some people that came into chat that were like, prove it. You're just hyping it. You're being a fear monger, blah, 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 blah. Well, lo and behold, a day or so ago on TWZ, the War Zone, there is an article there talking about the credible drone threat that was in Chicago, talking about how CBP had requested a temporary flight restriction due to credible threat of small unmanned aircraft systems being used against law enforcement during the Midway Blitz. That is according to CBP. They told us that Midway Blitz is the name of the operation that we all know is happening in Chicago, and the flight restriction extends for a 15-mile radius around the greater Chicago metropolitan area and into Lake Michigan. So just
We
in
had
case
that
there's
about 20
anybody,
minutes after that NOTAM was put out.
yeah, we Static Shift had it up before pretty much, I'll say pretty much any other source
Yeah.
out there. And that includes any of the other YouTube sources. That includes Lookner. That includes the mainstream media, the alphabet networks. So I wanted to give you some props. And if anybody is in the stream right now that's lurking, that was one of those folks that was trying to cast doubt on what Frost does here, and the great community, what the great community is Static Shift, formerly, I got to say it, buddy, formerly Warwatch Intel does.
Awesome.
I appreciate y'all, this community. I've always loved you guys. I love being a part of it. I love how, pardon my French, everybody just absolutely has their shit together at all times.
Yep.
So thank you all very much for the regulars that were here, for the new faces that were here at Static Shift, to basically see the way things work around here. Just because the name changed doesn't mean that anything really has to happen different. We just cover some new stuff and we don't cover some old stuff. It is what it is.
Thanks.
But I'm damn glad you're doing this, buddy, and I'm damn glad that you bring such a platform and such a community for all of us to be together and to hang out, man, to play together, to live together, to laugh together. I just
Thanks, man. I super appreciate it. I do miss Warwatch in some sense, but I'm glad that we are able to broaden our horizons and look at more threats and interesting things and do more than just war. I would feel odd doing that under the Warwatch title, so that's why if you don't know and you haven't heard it in a previous live stream, that's why we did switch from Warwatch to Static Shift. But things have been going good, and I like the vibe so far. So Swiller, let me know when you have your screen ready, and we'll quickly jump through that.
Yeah, I'll be just a moment here.
We got about 5 to 7 minutes left.
Yeah, no problem. I just want to make sure I zoom in on the right building here without giving too much away, and I want to make sure that it works before I do this, because when I showed you that night, I had to try a couple of times to get it to work, and hot damn, my friends. All right, so I'm just going to do this really quick.
So tell me when you share your screen. Switch things
drop
over.
Myself.
You don't have to drop yourself.
Screen, and we're going to go.
Yeah, you don't have to drop yourself.
Might make it better.
Yeah, okay. It'll run both. Shared windows.
Pull myself back up here then.
Let's see. All right, let me resize this here. We'll just do it live.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start zoomed in, and then I'll zoom out to give a little context. It's just, I think, based on my computer, is the easiest and best thing to do.
All right, take it away. And then after that, we'll talk about vertical mode and all that other stuff and channel updates. But take it away, Swiller. Give us a in-depth look of what you found. So
we're at the Palmdale Airport right now. We do a lot of testing of some groundbreaking materials down there. What I'm about to do is I'm about to zoom in on the back side of this hangar that is out in the middle of the desert here. So here we go. I'm going to zoom down. And inside, well, hello. Couple little fifth-gen assets sitting there. I do think the one on the right here is an X-47.
So now, real quick, let me pause you real quick. So people know what's happening here. This is Google Earth, right?
This is maps.google.com.
Okay.
And within it, there is a mode called globe mode. And you click a button in the settings to turn on globe mode. And it allows you to view Google Maps as if it was Google Earth. So you can grab the screen and you can lay the screen down and rotate around. So you can actually take this, I believe, into the Grand Canyon, and you can be down in the Grand Canyon looking at the canyon walls. based on what they look like from the different angles of space that we catch the photos from.
So, how this is specifically working is, or why it's working, is satellites come by, and every time they do a different pass, or while they're passing, depends on the satellite and the service, they get shots at different elevations, different angles. Not elevation as in like height because they stay the same, but like elevation of angle. And that's why this picture here, you're able to pan it. So usually it would be just a top-down angle, but they're getting these 3D views and they're getting different angles and allowing Swiller here to make this. So continue. Sorry.
No. Now, for the record, Beans, you said that in case anybody else is like, damn, I'm going to go to Area 51 and do this right now. They don't have the same resolution and they don't have the same technology capabilities enabled for Area 51. I also went to China Lake to try to check that out. I went to the facility that we were just looking at in Hellendale to try to check that out. And none of those facilities have this feature enabled for obvious reasons. I don't know that I would think that they know that this exists this way. I would think that somebody who works there would have checked this out already, but
this could have been a happy accident. Not sure.
Yeah. Now, I'm 95% sure that the aircraft on the right of the screen is an X-47. I am 60% sure.
And what's an X-47? Real quick.
X-47 is a drone that we are currently working on. I think it's the technology demonstrator that's been hiding in plain sight for what's going to end up being the F-47, which is our new NGAD fighter aircraft, 6th generation marketing. It's not even real. The whole 4th, 5th, 6th generation thing, not even real. Totally 100% made up for marketing. Thank you, Sandbox News, for enlightening me to that. But it's going to be, in this case, the X-47 is intended to be an unmanned drone, unmanned combat drone.
Stealth.
I am 60% sure that sitting next to it is a carrier version of the same drone. I cannot find anything anywhere that talks about a U.S.-made drone that has that general shape that you see on the left there. It's the same shape, like from here to here, right? Or from here to here. It's the same general shape there. But then you see these white parts on the wings out here. Now, what I think is, if you turn this a little sideways here like this, now you can see the chine to the front of the aircraft there. And there's another little line that you get right about there that's very faint.
What would that be?
This is the plane next to it with the wings folded up, carrier operations. So like an F-18 folds its wings up. I'm thinking that this thing,
because there's limited space on the deck or in storage.
Right. But where I get thrown off of that theory, number one, is the engine nacelle in the back there looks different than the engine nacelle in the back of the X-47.
It's more narrow,
95%, right? It's more narrow, and it's also like cut out like a box versus this being like nozzles, right? So maybe this doesn't have the engines in it. Maybe it's,
Oh, Swiller, we're losing. You're going digital. Hold on. We just lost you, buddy. Hold on. Can you hear me?
And next to it here, you have a more subdued shape. But I could be completely wrong. I am not an expert. Hey, you see Carl's Jr. off up there in the distance. For you folks on the East Coast, that's also Hardee's. Let's go. But anyways, when I saw this, I was absolutely amazed. Absolutely amazed. And just to give some context, I'm going to zoom up. This is the Palmdale Airport. Let's just back to a northern orientation. So on the airport property, this sits on the northern edge of the property. In some of the others, as you zoom in some parking lots or some of the other taxi areas. Oh, wait. You know what? This is a B2 I showed you. The B2 that's undergoing the
Hey, Swiller, just in case just so you know,
rest-
you're going digital every once in a while. Can you hear me?
Oops, I lost you, buddy.
I lost you for a second. You went digital there just for a second. I got you back. Just making sure you're not AI. Man, that's cool. Look at that. Can you hear me now?
Hey, buddy, I lost your audio.
I lost your video. Someone didn't want you showing this candy with everyone here. Let me know in chat if you can hear me. Press say yes, I can hear you, Frost, in chat. Or simply type 1. Perfect. Thank you, Lamb Chop. Hey, welcome in, Lamb Chop. Saw you come in earlier. Thanks for being here. Hey, Lori, thank you so much.
Uh-oh.
Swiller,
Let me try to unconnect and reconnect.
You got it, buddy. That's always the fix. Swiller's information was getting a little too hot there. Started breaking connections, or someone didn't want that to be seen. So channel updates. Again, we're trying vertical mode tonight. Not sure, not sold on it. Right now it said the poll question, do you like the vertical mode stream? 31% say yes, 41% say no, 28% say don't care. We're going to do one more thing while we're waiting on Swiller. Hey, welcome back, Swiller.
Got you loud and clear now. Not sure what happened.
Are you watching this on a phone? Okay. Welcome back. You can try sharing your screen again. Where you left off, where we saw, was what appeared to be a B2 Spirit with its reflective material off, possibly.
Once the audio stopped, I shut down basically all my tabs in case it was a resource thing. So bear with me a second.
Hey, no problem, man. Take your time. Landchop says vertical is great for phones, in my honest opinion. I think it looks pretty sharp. If we don't use them for this kind of stuff, we'll use it for something coming up. I'm not sure what that is. It's also easier for us to take this kind of content and put it into shorts, is what we're being told from YouTube. Also, what's coming up on Static Shift is some more conversations like this. I'm not sure if you tuned into the conversation that I had with Havoc the other night. That got off the rails, but was totally awesome. I really enjoyed that. But a lot more interviews, a lot more conversations. If you're someone out there that has content or would like to talk about stuff, let me know. I'd like to get some more people up here, and I would like to learn and then share that with the rest of all of you. When big things are happening or we see interesting things in the air or radio, we'll go live to you. Or sometimes we'll just scan the skies and the airwaves and just chill and chat and talk about it. I played a video game on a live stream the other night. That went pretty well. We're just having fun, just enjoying each other's company and hanging out. All right, Swiller, looks like he's got his tasty B2 Spirit photo back here. Take her away.
Yeah, crazy to see it without its skin on.
That's the first time I've ever seen
to have
that.
any skin on is this little section. Yeah, no, same. And you can tell that this is composite back here just by the kind of yellow color that it is. What I would like to know is what this little shadow of an image is down here. One thing that these Google images are famous for is like you could see a little bit of a shadow of some ground equipment that was sitting over here, but because of the way they do the layering,
Mm-hmm.
it ends up getting hidden. Uh, but just another gem down here in Palmdale facility. There is another section, and I just can't remember exactly it is, or on the airport property it is real quick. Northrop Grumman being over here. The hangar we were at is the one that's right here. Somewhere on this property, sitting out behind one of these hangars, of something stealth. And you can tell it's something stealth, but you can't tell what it is. But it's something that hides in plain sight.
Are
Down
you okay
here.
talking about the logo that was on the side of these buildings?
So I'm not going to spend much time. Oh yeah. Oh, here's another one that's interesting. So quick once it zooms in here.
What is that?
Okay. So old school 7. So it's an old school 737. It's a really short 737.
Mm-hmm.
The front of this here is a ray dome that comes off of an F-22 Raptor, and these wings here simulate. So basically, it simulates sensors. They can put sensors in the wingtips. They use this airplane to test the sensors in the F-22 fighter, as well as the F-35 fighter systems that are going on. So that is a test. Sophia is all. I can't remember off the top of my head of where Sophia hangs out, but for those that don't know, Sophia was a NASA 747, and she had a telescope that was parked near the front of the fuselage.
Now this is
And
by
they would
Skunk
fly
Works,
up
right?
to 30,000 feet or so. Yeah, this is by Skunk Works. So this down here was the Northrop Grumman version of Skunk Works.
Oh, we lost you again, buddy.
Oh, cool logo. Right.
Can you hear me? I'm going to try to get Swiller reconnected here. Yeah, I got you back. I hit refresh and I got you back.
Cool.
When you're zooming
So,
around,
I
it
don't
seems
want-
to lag out a little bit.
Gotcha. I'm done zooming. I found the airplane I was looking for. This is Sophia.
Ooh, what's that?
See? Sophia. Back here, where this little bit of a bulge is, you can see the NASA logo. Where this bit of a bulge is, giant telescope hangs out back there. They recently retired this aircraft, but they would fly up to 35,000 feet. They would open up this giant door on the back of the aircraft, and then they would use the telescope that's back there to gaze at planets, stars, objects. So I figured I would end on this just because it's kind of the theme of the channel right now. We are keeping our eye on Swan and Atlas and Apophis, well as a few others. I'm going to stop sharing the screen here now, buddy. So hopefully I stop lagging out a little bit as well. But that's all I got as far as Palmdale goes. I'm going to keep my eyes open for other facilities that I can do this to and see if I can't see something cool. I was checking out Nellis the other day, and you can see some F-22 Raptors underneath some shaded hangars. And you can see some other cool painted Eagles and painted up F-16s for aggressor squadrons. So a neat little hack that I found, and all thanks to Uncanny Expeditions over there, just kind of piquing my interest. Something I've loved to do anyways is kind of like geolocate stuff. And to be able to see his videos and have them be in line with what I like. Plus, I don't mind the outdoor and the camping, and the equipment that he uses. You know, he's got to feed himself while he's out there, and he packs light. Usually, 5 to 10 to 20 miles to hike in for him from where he parks his vehicles. So it's what do you got there? Overlord, nice.
Overlord is scanning the Persian Gulf like no one's business right now.
No
Took off
kidding.
out of UAE and now is just east of Kuwait. Hey, real quick question. Jasmine trades. Oh, never mind. Took it back. Don says Comet Lemon may be visible late this month. Um, Interesting news in that fact. I'm not sure if you guys heard me on the last live. I recently purchased a telescope. It's nothing amazing per se. However, I just got in the mail a a device that will let me put my phone up to the eyepiece and then take pictures, video, and then go live from my telescope looking through it. So I think we'll test that out looking at the moon. I need to get a different eyepiece so I can look at the stars closer, maybe Jupiter and stuff like that. But as these comets get closer and back into view and not on the other side of the sun, I would love to take a look at these because R2 Swan is going to pass by Earth pretty decently close. I would love to take a look at that if conditions are correct or right. Tonight, I was really excited to try that out tonight, but it's raining really bad here in Wyoming. So I'm excited to share that kind of content with you. I don't know a whole lot about telescopes and stuff like that. So this is a learning experience for me, and I'm excited to share this adventure with all of you as well. Yeah, we'll definitely go try a live. I don't know how that's going to work, if it's going to work, but we'll try it. We'll go live from the telescope, looking through it and having me voice it. That should be fun. So look and doing that live and like looking at a comet, that would be sweet. I might have to
Right.
go to maybe up in the mountains or on a hill or a big dark piece of land because I have a lot of trees in my property. So that might make it difficult. But it'll be fun either way. Let's see, Jasmine.
Frost
Go ahead.
Lamb Chop was asking me what my thoughts were on recently the F-117 being certified to take gas from the KC-46. With the F-117's current role, I think that is outstanding that they're doing that. It'll allow them to continue their aggressor work. If you know, right now, F-117's job is two jobs. It is to mimic low observable cruise missiles that are approaching the U.S. coastline. It is also there to mimic Chinese fifth gen fighters that may be coming in some sort of a conflict, using their tactics to try to train our fighter pilots. So to allow them to be able to go off the KC-46, I think it helps extend the mission and extend the effectiveness of what the F-117 is going to be able to do in training our warfighters.
That's awesome. Hey, Skunkworks says I found a hand carved sign with only the name in all caps. My grandfather's things. He was an air commando in World War II. He found, I think, is what said Skunkworks on a hand carved sign. I think that's awesome.
Oh, that's badass.
That Skunkworks logo was on the side of one of those buildings, I believe, that you were showing, Swiller, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I wanted to be able to get up to it. Unfortunately, the computer was not cooperating properly with me. But next time we'll throw it up there, and I'm gonna try to find someplace else cool that has something that I can take a look at besides just from above. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So give me some time on that. But I'm sure with the help of Reddit, I'll find some cool coordinates somewhere.
that's super awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Very, very, very great. The last poll question I just put up: are you watching on a phone? 75% said yes, and 25% said no. going to go ahead and end that poll question. Thanks for taking the poll for everyone that clicked that. All right. Getting into the news real quick before we wrap this up. We had Trump ordered 400 members of Texas National Guards to Illinois. And then we had more troops sent into California, I believe. Is that right, Swiller? Have you heard about that?
Yeah, and I've also heard that some judges have blocked some troop deployments. I know that Pritzker in Illinois was mobilizing his legal team, the state's legal team, to file suit. I know that Gavi is, being Gavi, doing Gavin hand things. God, that guy annoys me. I know a judge put a hold on some troops being deployed in Portland, but I think it has to do with the fact that these Portland judges, at the very least, are completely ignoring the Supreme Court when the Supreme Court said that, hey, you can't, once we've ruled on something, you can't come with some arbitrary little be like, yeah, but what about in this situation?
Right.
If anybody needs the damn National Guard, it's going to be Portland, it's going to be Seattle, it's going to be San Francisco. These rioters that are out here in the West Coast, they know how to professionally protest. They're paid to do so. They are dispatched out to these areas by organizations such as BLM. All of them fight under the same idealistic flag of Antifa, which is not an organization, it's an ideal. So,
You can't kind of go arrest the leader of Antifa because there is
yeah,
none.
it doesn't.
There's no
Yeah.
1-800 phone number to call your local Antifa person.
Yeah, it's not AAA. It's not an automobile association. It's not even anonymous. There's no one leader of Antifa. It's a movement. It's not a brick and mortar.
That's one thing I think there was a lot of misunderstanding in the mass media was the big media was like, oh, these members down here protesting today are Antifa. That made no sense to me.
Yeah.
Having said that, there is a lot of protest going on in Portland, and I believe there's National Guard being sent to Portland or already there. I've seen some ICE clash with protesters in Portland, some live video.
As far as I've been able to read, the deployment of National Guard resources to go stand in front of federal buildings and make sure that federal buildings don't get messed with is 100% legal. To put National Guard troops and Marines, in the case of California, as protection for ICE agents, goes a little bit above and beyond what is written policy. But who am I? I'm not a legal scholar,
Fox News had a post. Let me see if I can share it here. And I've got to get the window sharing. There we go. National Police Union calls Chicago's refusal to help ICE agent shocking. So the nation's largest police union condemned reports that Chicago officers were told not to help ICE agents surrounded by protesters, calling it shocking and a violation of law enforcement's duty to protect fellow officers in danger. Now, this kind of leads me to something I've been thinking about for quite a while. Was just, we are heading, no matter what side you're on, if you're for this, if you're against it, if you're left, if you're right, we are heading into some freaking interesting times, my friend. Just no matter how you split it, it's just the nation is completely divided. There's not many conversations happening. It's really this side going full steam against this side, and then the people in the middle are like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to say anything right now. This is dangerous. Or the people that just don't know or don't care. And I'm not calling anybody out. It's just, this is, in my mind, we have to find some way to cool it down. I personally, I don't give a lot of my personal opinions out sometimes, but if you aren't supposed to be here and you're here illegally, You have to go, for one. Two, I'm not a big fan of putting military to police United States citizens in any way. ICE, federal agents, I can understand that, but oh man, the videos I've seen on both sides are not great. I believe there were shots fired to happen. What was it the other night in Chicago? Just not good, not good at all.
Yeah, definitely history being written every day. That's for sure.
And what's making all of this harder is the government shutdown. Two, we have AI videos that you can't tell the difference. So, am I watching someone actually get arrested or thrown to the ground or pushing back, or is this AI? It's getting really hard to tell. We now need an AI that tells us if this video is AI or not.
It's getting nuts, more and more nuts by the day. But I'm glad I'm here with y'all. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I am also glad that we have each other here and we can talk about these things open minded, and that's why we're here. Um, just to really go over all of this. Jazz Many Trades says it's a divisive time for us. Very true. I'm in the middle, and you're right. It's challenging to try to talk about it to anyone, but I continue the endeavor to try to do so when possible. Hey, I'm right there with you. I'm able to talk with you all. I think most of us here are pretty like-minded. I'm not set left or right, and even if you are, I want to hear your opinion, and I think we need to come together and talk. I talk about that all the time. Any other big news? We have 3i Atlas, I believe, that just passed Mars, and we got a snapshot out of it. It looked like a capsule in space, like a pill because of it, a long exposure shot. Nothing really to see there. I'll try to show some videos on the next live, or photos rather. R2 Swan, we have a few more weeks on that until it passes by the Earth. I'm actually really excited to see that. Swiller, what am I missing? We're recapping the week real fast.
We covered the drones in Chicago. We covered a little bit of civil unrest. It was honestly a fairly quiet week. Some hostages are supposed to be released from a particular conflict, I believe, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There was a deadline that was supposed to happen tonight, but lots of movement around that. I'm waiting for a clear story to come off on one of the alphabet networks, because right now the information on all sides, even back on Telegram, is very confusing as far as that goes. And U.S. might give Tomahawks to Ukraine and or targeting data, and we've been giving them targeting data inside of Russia for the HIMARS, and that might be why things have been blowing up in Russia, maybe. So, there's that.
Putin and his top staff pretty much came out and said, hey, we are at war with NATO. So whatever that actually means, we'll be here watching it and tracking it and sharing that information with all of you.
Yep. Oh, drones in Europe, dude. That's one thing we did miss. All the drones in Copenhagen and the different airports in Europe last week was pretty nuts.
So specifically, I would like to cover our next show. And I'll in the rotation of the scenes on the 24/7 stream, just so you know, that's where I'm putting our upcoming scheduled live streams in there. And I'll also post them on Discord, and I'll also post them as a post on YouTube in the community tab. However, our next one, I think we should talk about all these drone sightings over airports, military bases. Are they drones? Are they something else? Why do they have their lights on? There's so many questions I have we need to look into and listen to what all of you have to say.
Bro, I don't know if anybody else caught it, but why did you say airports like Kermit the Frog?
Because it's getting late and I'm wearing green. Okay. I will have to say, the frog thing reminds me of a live video I saw. I believe I was watching Lookner. Shout out Lookner. There was a protester in Portland that had a frog costume on, right? One of those blow up inflatables that has the fan connected to it. Well, his fan intake was connected more towards his like butt or waist area. Now, one of the ICE agents walked over with the um, pepper spray and sprayed it into the intake fan of that thing. Oh my gosh. That is what? That guy
That
was
will
definitely not laughing at the time, but holy
no,
smokes.
that'll ruin you right there.
You
That'll
couldn't
end
get
your
that
night.
suit off fast enough, let me tell you.
No, I've seen the reels on YouTube where like somebody will walk up next to somebody wearing that suit and like bend over and a little bit into it.
Yeah.
And people can't get out of the suit fast enough. I can just imagine with that pepper spray in there. I've been in a room that's had pepper spray sprayed in the room, not
Hmm.
at me or on me, but damn, just being in the room was like enough to choke you out.
And
So
this
I can just
wasn't
imagine.
this wasn't the light civilian stuff. This was like the orange bottle,
Oh
high
yeah, it's the
potency.
OC.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Um, Jasmine Trade says that guy will never wear a costume again. So not only was it sprayed there, but that fan was sucking it all in. Like none of it missed. That was
That's epic
not.
to man, that's epic. To the next level.
Lamb Chop said Greta got captured again. Yeah, the Israeli Navy had forces that boarded them. That was wild. What a crazy week. And you know what? It continues to get crazier. I don't love it, but we're here to watch it, to cover it, to talk about it, to decode it.
Frost.
Yeah.
I changed my mind on something.
Uh-oh.
So, a little teaser, folks. I know, and Frost knows that a lot of you guys, and I do to an extent, and Frost does to an extent too. We'll say that. We'll put it all out in the open there. Miss what has changed from Warwatch Intel into Static Shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I intend to create a space that brings a little bit of that back. Don't have a name nailed down yet, but a seed has been planted that the war and news side, that Static Shift still talks about greatly in the chat, and there's still definitely a place for it here on the channel. Like,
We'll
don't get
go
me
into
wrong.
war mode and cover things like that, but we
Yeah.
are not going to be war 24/7 for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to give a place a few nights a week. We'll see how it goes, where we can all gather and we can talk about the nitty gritty stuff that's going on, the Russia Ukraine stuff, the Taiwan stuff, when India was blowing up Pakistan stuff, the Israel Hamas stuff, the Russian shadow fleet. We could talk about new technology, military technologies over there. I want to give a place that kind of separates that here from Static Shift, so that way Frost can have nothing but time and energy to focus on the new mission of the Static Shift channel, and that we can still have a place to where we can kind of decompress what's happening on the military side of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be a 24/7 stream. It is not going to be a place that we talk about current domestic affairs. Let's say the CK thing was happening. God rest his
Mm-hmm.
soul. Let's say that was going on. That's not going to be the place that we're going to be talking about something like that.
Yeah.
We're not going to be divisive over there. We're not going to necessarily be political over there. We're going to be geopolitical. And we're going to have a little side space to talk about that heavy, heavy geopolitical, military conflict is coming kind of stuff. I hope you all will enjoy the little journey we're going to go on down the road here in the next couple of months and getting this set up and whatnot.
So what I would call this is just to butt in real quick. What I
Yeah.
would call this is a great collaboration. So Swiller is really good at bringing you all the deep dive intel on planes, on decoding and what's happening in the battle space and the battlefield, and we will cover that right lightly here on Static Shift. But Swiller, the collaboration, is going to take that on a separate channel, his channel, into a deep dive look of what's going on with that equipment, engine, aircraft, missile, battle space, whatever you want to call it, and whatever's being covered. Swiller will have the deep dive into it for you, and I'm
Yeah,
really excited about this collaboration here.
we want to bring to you a network, a nexus of different scopes that look into this from a different angle. So here on Static Shift, and what's going to be really cool, what I'm the most excited for, Frost, is when we get to collaborate. When there's a story that you want to cover that starts off with maybe something of the unknown that crosses into something of the military scope. So maybe we see some lights somewhere, like I'll use the Phoenix lights as an example, right? But maybe we'll see some lights somewhere, some sightings of something somewhere that is definitely on the unknown side. You bring it up on yours, you cover it pretty much on yours. We find out it's got a military connection, and we deep dive the military and what is it DARPA? Is it some test and evaluation squadron? Is it some sort of red op within our own government to to psyop us and see how we react? I cannot flip and wait to go down this rabbit hole.
So Swiller will be up here on Static Shift, co-host and as a guest collaborator. We're going to deep dive more into guest collaborators very soon. We have a few lined up, but we'll be coming on here and Static Shift. We're going to be looking into the unknown, mysterious things, radio signals, you name it. But when it comes to military aircraft and all that stuff I just spoke about, Swiller's going to give you all the detailed information on that. So more information to come on that very soon. I can't wait. I'm very excited. Swiller's, as you all know, very, very, very interested and has a huge connection to all of this stuff. And somehow you're able to keep it all up in your brain. That part just amazes me.
Yeah, I just keep this ponytail tied real tight, and it helps keep it locked in there, bro.
Man, I need to start growing some more hair or something like that because I can't keep all that information in my brain for sure. Well, that's all I really have for tonight, folks. That was a good chat. Thank you so much, Swiller. Thank you to everyone in here. Jazz of Many Trades says, I like talking to you guys. It's more like a chess game. Look at the events opposed to war stalking. Am I picking up what you're putting down? I think so. I'm really excited to journey into the unknown with all of you. So thank you again, Swiller, for joining me up here. It was a great conversation. Thank you for showing us the detailed stuff on that skunk work stuff, and just having a great Sunday with us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me here, and I appreciate everybody for logging in, tuning into us tonight. If you haven't had a chance to hit that like button for Static Shift, please do so. Share the stream on your social medias as always, and if you are very new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's all I got tonight on my end, my man. Again, I appreciate you letting me be here tonight, and rock and roll, man. I can't wait for the future.
All right. I'll get the 24/7 stream up, and we'll see you all over there. Thank you so much for being here, and we're out.